Welcome, WNBA fans. So I'm covering the Chicago Sky and the Atlanta Dream. And Atlanta won 93 to 80. And before I saw the score first before I watched the game. And I'll tell you, I thought it was, you'd think it was, Atlanta had the game easy, but this was a tie score until like 3 or 4 minutes left in the fourth. It was a battle back and forth, and Atlanta was struggling to, keep, they have the better record, but they were, Chicago was in this the whole game until the very final few minutes. So if you go by quarters, you look at the scoring. Atlanta outscored them 25 to 19 in the first, but then Chicago came right back. They outscored them in the second 26 to 21, and then they were pretty much even. They were within a point in the third. And then you look at the fourth, and Atlanta outscored them 24 to 11. But it was tied with 3 or 4 minutes left. So you're talking about a 13-point difference in the last 4 minutes. And it came down to a Hillman 3, a Pow 3, and I think it was Ryan Howard. It might have been Ryan Howard. Someone else hit a 3. I mean, Rachel Banham came back after the Pow 3. Rachel Banham came back and hit one. But then that was it. And Chicago just didn't have anything left. And then Ariel Atkins fouled out. She had a good game. She was, let's see, she had, I think, 29 points. It was a good game for Ariel Atkins. Yeah, there it is. She had 29 points. And she had 6 rebounds. Angel Reese, she scored 10, but she had 19 rebounds. And, they were right in it. Rachel Banham had 10. She was 2 for 5. So one of those threes was hers in the end there. And then Elizabeth Williams had a good game. She had 16 points. She was 8 for 12. So, I don't know what it's going to take for Chicago. I mean, congratulations to Atlanta. Atlanta's a very good team. They are 10-4. And they have been, right up there with Minnesota and New York. They're a very good team. And for Chicago, who's 3-10, to stay with them into the last 4 minutes, that says a lot. I mean, Chicago isn't as bad as their record. That's for darn sure. But they have got to find a way to pull it out. It was like, I don't know, maybe, sometimes that happens when you're losing as a team and all of a sudden someone hits 2 back-to-back threes and you're like, oh no, we worked this hard and now, they've got a 9-point lead or a 10-point lead or something. And then they just don't have it in them. I'm not sure if that's what it is, but I know from my playing days, it would really take a lot to come back from something like that. When you fight that hard and you're right there. And then you just can't get over the hump. I mean, at some point, maybe Chicago will figure out a way to get over the hump. Let's see. So Reese had 10 points. But, this game, Cardoso, she only had 7 points. But she was splitting time with Elizabeth Williams. Now, Elizabeth Williams is a pro. She's a wily vet. She's actually a really good player. She got hurt last year. And, but if they can get more out of Cardoso and Rebecca Allen can score more, she's a really good three-point shooter, but she hasn't found her groove or something yet. And, she could really contribute to this team. So can Kia Nurse. Kia Nurse didn't score at all. And she played 12 minutes, so let's see, who else? Yeah, and then Haley Van Lith wasn't in the game very much. But Ariel Atkins played almost the whole game, so I'm sure that's... And then they had Banham in there. They probably had Banham in there for her three-point shooting, which if she gets hot, she can light it up. She can definitely light it up. So, let's see here. How many... They only had 9 turnovers. Chicago only had 9 turnovers. So, overall, this was a really good game for them, but they just couldn't pull it out. But, you're going up against a really strong team in Atlanta, and they have multiple stars. They had, look here, 5 players in double figures. So, but, I mean, good effort for Chicago. It's still the beginning of the season. They might be able to figure it out. But they were winning in the fourth quarter. They were up, and then but it was, for the most part, it was tied. It was within 3 points most of the game until that last 4 minutes when Atlanta finally pulled away. So we have Ryan Howard had 22 points. She's a very good player. I mean, she was a number 1 pick for a reason. And she's wearing a knee brace, so she's not even at 100%. Brianna Jones had 13. Griner was not effective at all. She's 3 points. Alicia Gray's a great player. She was 5 for 8 from 3. She might have been that last 3-pointer in the end there. I can't remember who I saw take that last one that was kind of the dagger. Pretty sure it was Howard. But so you had Alicia Gray with 19 points. Then you had Naz Hillman. Naz Hillman's been coming off the bench and playing really well for them. And they also had Pow Pow. Pow Pow had 16 points. She's been playing well. She was 5 for 6 from 3. 5 for 7 overall. That just means she took one more shot that wasn't a 3. And Coffey's been coming in. She only played 6 minutes though, so she wasn't. But she has been effective in other games. But good game Atlanta, because they took everything Chicago had to throw at them, and it took them till the last 3 or 4 minutes, and they were able to pull away and get the win. So, congratulations to Atlanta. And the Sky, they're not, I don't know if they're that far out as far as being a solid, they're not one of the best teams, that's for sure. But they could, if they put a few more things together, they could definitely be one of the middle of the road teams, that's for sure. But they've got to figure out a way to keep Cardoso and Atkins and Reese and get more contributions from the other players to be that team. And, maybe they'll get there. They might. Because they definitely look better than they did first, in the beginning of the season. And Atlanta looks very strong. Atlanta, Phoenix, New York is faltering right now, but they had 3 of their starters out, and they barely lost to Seattle. But Minnesota is just a fine, well-oiled machine that I don't know if anybody's beaten Minnesota this year unless they get injuries. But, Atlanta's definitely proving themselves to be one of the top teams, and they look very strong. So, good on Chicago that they gave them a run for their money. But congratulations, Atlanta. And that's pretty much all I have. Yeah, Atlanta's 10-4, and Chicago's 3-10. So see you next time.